Hi, my name is Jon Vazquez. I'm in my 20s and currently unemployed. I love three things: television, conversation, and cookies. So I thought, why not put these three things together into one show? That's bound to be a great idea, right? This is Chip Chat.
What is up, my internet friends? Welcome to Chip Chat. I'm your host, Jon Vazquez, here from my kitchen in New Jersey. Now, we have a great show for you today, but before we go anywhere, we must reveal the cookie of the day. And today's cookie is Oreos from our local shop, right?
Ah, yes, Oreos.
Oh my goodness, I nearly forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our Chip Chat house band, Chad and the Chat Attacks.
Hey, oh, tip your waitress, or I guess your Uber Eats driver. Please tip them, actually tip them, folks.
Chad, where's the rest of the Chat Attacks?
What are you going on about?
I mean, you're Chad and the Chat Attacks. I thought they were... I only see you.
Oh, really? Is that what you see? Because from my point of view, all I see is Jimmy Fallon's hand-me-downs talking to himself, hoping one day he'll know what the touch of a woman feels like. Or at the very least, a job.
I lost my job in the pandemic.
Yeah. The pandemic. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. That's what everyone's been saying, you know. Oh, yeah, I can't take a shower because there's a pandemic going on. Oh, I don't have any basic human decency because the pandemic's going on. Yeah, you're a sham. You're a sham. Just know that. You're a sham. No one likes you. No one. Absolutely no one likes you.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chad and the Chat Attacks. My guest today is a singer-songwriter from the great borough of Brooklyn, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yianna. All right, you guys, we are here live and virtually in person with the one, the only, Yianna. My love, Yianna, how the hell are you doing, dude?
What's up, John? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a while since I've seen you, but nonetheless, your freaking album is absolute fire. I've listened to it probably collectively like 5 times, and I can't stop listening to it. It's phenomenal, dude.
Thank you so much, John.
So before we get started, as tradition on this show, we're going to take our cookie of the day. Mine is an Oreo. What is your cookie of the day?
Trader Joe's wafer of some sort that I've already started eating. So
all right, dude.
that.
And then I have this, I couldn't find milk, so I just got this like Starbucks vanilla latte. It's like iced espresso. I don't know how it's going to taste with the Dunkaroo. Oh my God.
Cheers, John.
Cheers, dude. Bam. Oh my God.
Oh, wait, it's really good. Wait. Well.
Holy shit. So let's get started here, dude. Your album, Class of 1995, is out on streaming services everywhere. You've been in music for a while. I mean, I know a lot of people kind of find an interest in music when they're really little and young. Was that kind of the case for you, or did you find it later on in your life?
I mean, like, I always loved music, and I was always kind of singing. I was terrible. I, had really bad stage fright. I did choir when I was a kid, but other than that, it was never anything I've, expected to do seriously. And then when I was about 18, I started pursuing music more seriously. My senior year of high school, I was, for some reason, at the time, I don't know, super interested in going into the military, and my parents found out about it, that I'd been meeting with recruiters. I wanted to do ROTC and all this stuff, whatever. And
You did it behind their backs?
Yeah. And they were not cool with it. So my mom found all these booklets and magazines I had stored under my bed, army recruiters.
So, what is this?
Yeah, and I came home one day, she was like, "What the hell is under your bed? You're not going." It was a whole thing. So my friends had convinced me to sing in the talent show that year. I lost, so that's great. And my parents knew that I did it, of course, and they were like, "Oh, get a hobby or something. Get your mind off of this army thing. You're not doing it.
Yeah.
We'll take singing lessons." And so I met with this guy who actually happened to be a music producer, who I was just going there to like meet with him and see if there was anyone who could give me singing lessons. And it ended up being like a super life-changing moment for me, honestly. I like sang for him, and I just had this like outer body experience. That's always like the best way that I describe it.
You were like kind of like, oh my God, this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, literally. I was just like, oh wait, duh, like hello, you know. At that point, like it became super difficult for me to like focus in college, and because I went to a super small school, there was no music program, there was no like music production program. I didn't know anybody that wanted to, you know, that even did anything like that. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I came back home and started working on music, and it's been a roller coaster ride.
When you started like kind of developing yourself as an artist, um, you know, I imagine that you take a lot of inspiration from the different genres you kind of listened to growing up. What was it about the music that you listened to that kind of influenced you as an artist today?
When I was super little, I'd listen to a lot of pop music, you know, or like whatever was on the radio, you know, and loved it. And then as I got older, I kind of started listening to more like Motown records and like, you know, R&B, like rhythm and blues records, and just like just things that were older, I guess, per se. And I think like a lot of my influences came from that. And then I started listening to a lot of 90s hip hop like way after that. So I don't know, I've kind of always listened to everything, like even like, you know, dance music. Like for me, like genres is it's all kind of subjective. Like you just you know, I hear something, I like it, whatever it is. I'm just gonna make music that's right for me in the moment, you know? And like as human beings, like we're constantly evolving and changing.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, when I first listened to this album, I had a lot of the feels, dude. Like, the sound of it in itself, first of all, it's an amazing album. But the sound of it in itself is just like, for me, like, I picture myself walking in the streets of Brooklyn, like listening to this album. Like it's very, you know, I think of the hard streets of New York, the city. Like I think of all that when I listen to it. But it also brings me back to like this kind of '90s feel, which is why I think the title is so fitting as well. You know, talking about the different styles of music that you kind of, you know, experimented with. Why did you kind of want this to be it?
I think for me, John, it was just a gut feeling. Like once I started making that music, I was like, this just feels right. It just feels good. You know, I'm having fun doing it, which is most important. And it's funny that like you bring up the like Brooklyn, like the New York thing. Like living in Brooklyn is like, you know, it's really there's just a feeling that you have about being there.
Yeah.
And I think New York and the sound that comes from New York is a really unique thing. And not to say that I'm like unique or whatever, but you know, just like I just like I definitely am very inspired by New York.
One of my favorite songs that kind of really play to that is "Out of the Box." I love that song so much. And you mentioned to me before we like spoke here that as well was just completely like freestyle. And one of at least my favorite line was where you talk about your grandparents and you say, I used to get embarrassed because my grandparents don't speak English. And like, you know, your family, you come from immigrant parents and immigrant grandparents. I come from immigrant parents and grandparents as well. And like, that was so freaking relatable because I remember being a kid, and my mom to this day, she pronounces her 30s 30. Like, she does not speak English very well.
So this is actually, Out of the Box was like, for me, is a really special record for a lot of reasons. My friend Evan, who's the producer of that record, posted this loop, this track on his Instagram. And I just had this, I remember it was like a full moon that night. I don't know what the hell was going on in my head. But I just had this like thing, and it just like flowed out of me. And I was like, dude, you have to send me that right now. Like send me an MP3 right now. And I was alone in my room. And my roommates probably thought I was nuts. Like,
what the hell is this girl doing at 12 o'clock at night?
I know my roommates thought I was insane, of course. But like, yeah, and honestly, John, I wrote that a year ago. And it just like happened to be like fitting to, I mean, what's going on now. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those really weird things where it just completely flowed out of me. I haven't had a moment like that since, honestly. Like, not where I had like an entire record that was just like freestyle.
I mean, dude, I freaking love that, and I'm excited to kind of just see where this is going to take you as an artist. You know, you've checked off this. I've released my debut album. What's next for you?
I'm just gonna keep putting out new music, and I'm sure over time it will evolve and change. But I will always be in my feels, John. So.
All right, Yianna, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an incredible talk to you, ladies and gentlemen. Yianna.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
Well, there you go, folks. First episode in the bag. Did you like it? Let me know down in the comments below. Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below.
I did not like that one bit. I was bored out of my mind. The world is burning around us, and your first thought is, oh, let's have milk and cookies. What is wrong with you? This is why no one likes you.
All right.
This is why your only friend is your hand. I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner in this home.
Chad, enough! I took a joke too far. If you want to check out more of Yianna's music, make sure to follow her at Yianna on Instagram and Spotify. And while you're at it, give me a follow at The Blame Velvet. I could sure use the validation. And folks, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. For Chip Chat, I'm Jon Vazquez. Good night.